Okay, now I'm going to stain the pipe, and I have some black dye that I've already mixed up, and I just keep in a jam jar. And now I'm just going to come in and just apply the dye. And I'm sure, you know, if you're just getting into pipe making, you've seen some videos. Some people light the pipe on fire. I do that, but I only do that on smooth pipes. What I've found on rusticated pipes is when the alcohol burns away, because this is just dye, and it's leather dye, and I thin it with denatured alcohol. I would say probably 1 part dye, 10 parts denatured alcohol. You don't want to come in with too much. You don't want to have pure stain, because then what's going to happen is your pipe's gonna bleed when you smoke it and it gets warm. You're going to have dye all over your hands, so it needs to really be thinned down. You can use leather dye, or there's powdered dyes that I think I've seen on Pimo Craft and a couple other pipe making sites. And that works really good too. I mean, really, leather dye is about the same thing. So, and it's pretty cheap. If you go to like Tandy Leather, and some of the pipe making sites sell the leather dye. And what I'm doing is I'm just coming in, giving it a good coat around the top rim. I just want to be careful not to get it in the tobacco chamber. I'm sure it wouldn't be a big deal if you get a drop in there, but I just try to keep it out of the tobacco chamber. And usually with the black, usually with the black dye, I go in with 1 or 2 coats. I just make sure it's dark. Usually on the bottom and the top rim, I'll do 2 coats. Let's go and look for any areas that might be a little bit light, because we're going to be sanding this off anyways. And like as I said previously, the lighter grain in the wood is going to keep that dark to give you the nice contrast. And since this is denatured alcohol, this dries pretty darn quick, so I can start sanding on it in a few minutes here. Okay, let's just touch up this rim. Sorry if I keep getting out of the field of view on the camera. Okay, and that's it for the dyeing. Now I'm gonna probably just take I've got a dirty rag. I'll probably just kind of buff this out a little bit. Then I will sand it. Okay, here I have the pipe, and it's pretty much dry enough that I can start sanding it. I'm gonna go in with 600 grit. I still have the gloves on just in case there's any damp spots. I think it's pretty good though. And I could come in with a little heavier grit than, might take a little bit of 220 lightly to knock off. What I want to get is the high spots light and the lower spots nice and dark. Okay, I'm going to go with 600 just since I already had this sanded down pretty good. And get that top rim. In a second here, you'll start to see the grain and what it did. Well, I'm going to go ahead and sand on this instead of keeping it rolling. I'm going to sand on it, and I'll be back in just a second. Okay, now you can see I've gone in and I've kind of sanded off the high spots. starting to take shape. Sand at the bottom, not really great grain on the bottom. But you can see, and let's see if I can zoom into this. The light's a little harsh, but you can see that how the dark from the black dye kind of made that top pop. Right now the pipe's pretty dull, no wax on it, and I still need to bend the stem. But what I'm going to do now is, I'm just going to go over the whole pipe with a coat of light brown to bring out some more reds in the color. And that's that. Next step, dye with brown. Okay, now I got the brown dye on, and you can see it's starting to take shape. Still don't know if you'll be able to see. Yeah, you can see the top wood grain there. Looks a little better. And let me back up a bit. Here's the sides. And when I'm going to put it on the buffer with a little bit of Tripoli compound. That'll help shine it up a bit. Take a few of those high spots, lighten them up a bit, and bring a mirror polish to the top. Then I will buff the whole pipe with carnauba wax. But just about done with this pipe now. Almost there. Okay, my next step now is to bend the stem. What I have here is a heat gun. I've seen other people do this with that kind of like little, almost like a little burner, like a little oil burner. I'm not exactly sure what they use. I just use a heat gun. It seems to work pretty good. What you have to do though is when you're doing it, let's see, is keep it moving and keep it rotating. You need to heat it evenly in the section that you're going to burn it. In the section where you're going to heat it up so you can bend it. Then what I have that's out of view is I have some cold water. Once I get it bent in the shape, you have to put it in the cold water, otherwise it'll straighten out a little bit. So I'm going to go ahead, start heating it up. I'm not going to do the whole process. What I'll probably do is, well actually I'll probably videotape the whole process and I'll speed it up a bit. And one step I forgot, and I'm gonna go grab it real quick, is to put pipe cleaners in here. So when you bend it, it doesn't pinch or restrict the airflow. So I'm gonna go ahead and stop the video now. I'm gonna heat it up, then bend it. And then what I'll do is I'll turn the video back on right when at the point where I'm starting to bend the stem. Okay, it's just about ready. And what you want to do is make sure that you get it evenly heated. And also when you bend the stem, make sure that you're doing it even and it's not cocked off to the side. Okay, sorry I have it out of view. I have about the bend that I want. So now I'm going to dip the whole stem. Make sure it's right. And dip it in the cold water. And I'd hold it there, I don't know, at least 30 seconds to a minute. You need that whole stem to really cool down. So then it holds that. And you want to bend the stem before you buff it. Because heating it up, you'll see it dulls the vulcanite a bit and can slightly discolor it from the heat. But when you buff it with the Tripoli compound, then the carnauba wax, it looks great. Okay, it feels like it's holding now. Go ahead and dry this off. And let's see. You can see now we've got the bend on the stem. So next step is going to be to put the buff it with Tripoli compound and then carnauba.